A client commissioned me to make his partner a ring for their 18th wedding anniversary, the year of porcelain. He sent me a porcelain jug made in the village his partner grew up in, and a block of beech wood from a tree felled behind her grandparents' house. The first step is to cut the wood into thin strips. I'm using 0.5mm veneer to set the distance between the fence and the bandsaw blade. Apply pressure against the fence and cut slowly to achieve an even, thin finish. I usually use 30cm of wood veneer to wrap into a ring blank, but as the client sent me a small block, I cut multiple strips. Using some coarse sandpaper, I sand one end of each piece to a taper. As the wood I sent was more than double the width I needed, I cut each piece in half to make the next step easier. Next, add boiling water to a pan. Add the strips to the water one at a time. After about 10 to 15 seconds, carefully remove from the water. Sanded end first, wrap around a large socket. Then wrap masking tape around it to hold in place. Carefully remove with a little twist to help make sure you don't snap the wood. Set aside to completely dry. I recommend making a few extras just in case any break. For the porcelain inlay, the client wanted as much gold as possible, so I focused on breaking the gold off. After bits flying everywhere, I recommend breaking in a bag. I then continued to break smaller bits, collecting all the small pieces of gold. Once I had enough pieces with gold on them, I continued to smash them into small 1 to 2mm pieces. And then set this aside for later. When the wood is completely dried, you can remove the tape, and the wood will retain its bent form. Some may have broken, but that doesn't matter if you've made extra. To make an accurate sized ring, you'll need a solid ring sizer set. The ring I'm making is a size S, but I'm going to use one size up to allow for finish on the inside of the ring. Socket sets are perfect for ring fullness as they come in a variety of sizes. Select one just smaller than the ring size you need, and use tape wrapped around it to get to the exact size. I like to use electrical tape for this. Make sure it's a snug fit for an accurate size. Tape it in first, wrap the wood around the socket. Make sure it's a really tight, even wrap without any gaps or twists. Hold firmly with one hand and uncurl the end. Apply a small amount of superglue and spread with a cocktail stick. Then tightly wrap and hold firmly in place. Use a spring clamp to hold in place until the glue is completely cured. As the wood wasn't long enough to wrap around a second time, I broke off the excess and used a sharp knife to trim to nearly round. Then sanded to completely round. On the join line, add a dab more glue and spread out with a cocktail stick. Then glue on the second layer, tapered end first. Wrap around once with a small overlap and break off excess. Place down on a table, unwrap and apply glue to the inside surface. Roll along a table, pressing down firmly to achieve a tight wrap without any gaps. Use a spring clamp to hold in place until the glue is completely cured. Repeat the process for a third and final layer. Once the glue is completely cured, remove the ring blank from the socket. A little twist usually helps. Then, using a ring sizing mandrel to double check it's the desired size. I like to add a bit more glue to the edges to make sure all the layers hold together. Find the inside join line and mark it on the outside. I call this the back of the ring. To hold my rings on the lathe, I use a wooden mandrel and masking tape. I like to use at least 2 layers of tape. I then rip the end to line up with the start to keep the mandrel an even round. The tape creates just enough friction to help hold the ring in place. Secure the mandrel in the lathe. Mark the join line on the tape. I then use some dividing calipers to set the ring's width of 7mm. Then use the calipers to cut the ring to width. Cut and remove the offcuts. Using digital calipers, measure and check the width of the ring. Using a sharp chisel, trim the sides so the width is 0.5mm smaller than the desired finished ring width to allow for the finish. Carve the face of the ring to flush off the end of the wrapped veneer. Carve the corners to take off the sharp edge. Apply superglue to the surface and wipe with a paper towel to seal the wood. Divide the ring into 3 equal parts and mark with the calipers. Carve a central inlay channel between the 2 markings. This should be about 1 mm deep. Place something underneath the ring to catch any dropped inlay material. Using a cocktail stick, apply superglue into the inlay channel, and then sprinkle the crushed porcelain on top. Press into place with a flat screwdriver, then apply more superglue into any empty spots, and fill with more crushed porcelain. Press and flatten with a screwdriver again. Using a carbide tip chisel, carve the porcelain flush with the wood. As there wasn't enough gold showing, I picked gaps in the porcelain and glued in pieces with gold on them. Then applied more superglue and wiped with a paper towel to seal the ring. Using a pointed carbide tip chisel, carve 2 0.5 mm wide inlay grooves on the join line of the porcelain. Use digital calipers to ensure the ring is split into 3 equal parts. Use the inlay wire to check the grooves at the correct size. To measure how much gold you will need, wrap string or wire around the ring. Then use this as a guide to measure out the gold. Add 5 mm extra just to be sure it's long enough, and cut 2 pieces at this length. File one end square on both pieces. Use pliers to curve the end of the wire to match the ring's curve. Apply superglue into the inlay groove, and then glue in place the curved end of the gold. Once it's secure, apply more superglue and wrap the gold around the ring. Cut the excess gold and file the end for a perfect fit. Apply more glue and glue in the end of the wire. Repeat the process for the second gold inlay. Sand the ring, working from 400 grit all the way up to 10,000 grit for a perfect mirror finish on the gold inlays. Spray with the glue activator and apply the superglue to the ring and spread with a piece of card or plastic. Check for bubbles and remove with a cocktail stick. Repeat for several layers of finish. Use digital calipers to monitor how much you put on. Carve the uneven finish to an even round ring. Measure to finish about 2 mm thick. Carve the sides to remove any glue overspill. Then you can remove the ring from the mandrel. Using a knife, carefully carve the inside edge. Sand the inside of the ring with 320 grit sandpaper. Sand the inside edges for a smooth, comfortable ring. Brush off all the wood dust. Apply superglue to the inside and wipe with a paper towel to seal the ring. Spray with a glue activator, then apply superglue to the inside, and then spread with a cocktail stick for an even coating. Repeat the process for several layers of finish. Apply enough to end up a size smaller than the finished ring. Next, spray more activator and apply glue to the side of the ring. And repeat for multiple layers on each side of the ring. Apply enough to finish 0.5 mm wider than the finished ring. Starting with 320 grit, sand the inside of the ring, checking for size in between working up through the sandpaper grits. Lay the sandpaper flat to evenly sand the sides of the ring. Again, checking for width in between working up through the sandpaper grits. Work up all the way through to 2500 grit. When the ring is the correct size and width, put the ring back on the mandrel. On the lathe, carve the face of the ring to remove any glue overspill. Then sand the ring starting from 1000 grit, working all the way up to 5000 grit. Next, use some plastic polishing compound and a cotton cloth to polish the ring on the lathe. Then use more polishing compound on a felt buffer to polish the inside and sides of the ring. Finally, with hot soapy water, wash the ring. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please like and comment. And if you want to see more jewellery making tutorials, check out my YouTube channel and subscribe. If you'd like to order your own handmade wooden jewellery, visit my shop, matthewflowerdesign.com.